love reunions, and I come to as many as I can. I know sometimes the class numbers are small, but you know, how many people can you really talk to in over the course of 2 long dinners, or if you happen to be here for the whole day? You know, there's some wonderful activities that were offered, and I know at that table over there how much work my colleagues put into the reunions and just planning it and giving it lift off and everything from lighting the what do you call those candles, Carla, that keep away the mosquitoes? Sarsaparilla, salmonella, something like that. What is it? Saffronella, yeah. Saffron, was something, and she was lighting it, and I was blowing it out. She was lighting it, and I was blowing it out. We had fun. And I right off the bat, I was digging into one of those juicy ribs that Ed and Will and Jesse and Jeff make in there, and Sukasa said, "Mr. Mariani, so great to see you." And I must have looked like a Tyrannosaurus Rex in the moment, but I put that down and grabbed the napkin, and right off the bat, I was so impressed that that Sonia and Sukasa came from Okinawa to listen about their ventures, and Ray Lee and Jay Lee started with me in 2000. I can still remember the faculty that started then. There was David, there was a Jaffe. Rachel, what was his first name? David Jaffe. Was a Harvard graduate. He spent a couple of years. There was Larry Friedman. He would come over from NMH. He was a Vassar graduate. He was sort of the real grammarian that he always had a purple pen, and he just marked up papers, you know, all day long, or all his hours in the Learning Center. And Chris Horn, he and his wife were at St. George's with their 2 daughters. One's in college now, one's at St. George's. And, this is my 24th year, and I can remember telling my wife Karen, I said, "Hey, you know, I'm 31 now. I need to establish sort of a work pattern, because everything up until then had been 1 year or 2 years, leading bike trips, working as a waiter, writing a novel, America's Worst Novel, up in the woods of Heath." I said, you know, and I started. Dan Verdery hired me as Tony Burnham because he took a long leave of absence. Maybe that's the name some of you know. Des Pullen and Dan Verdery and Jim Percival. And so I did. I taught from January to May of that year, '99, and that ended. You know, Dan Verdery came back, and then he helped pave the way for me to come here. And it was tough the first couple of years. You know how regimented Eaglebrook is. You know, you feel that as a kid, and you feel it as a faculty member too. I mean, the play-by-play is 42 pages long. You know, so, where do I got to be now? The print is actually, Mr. Point does a lot of this, is getting so small that you need to take your iPhone out and do that magnifying thing on it to see if your name's in there and what your duty is. But
you need Control F.
Control F.
Yeah.
But I said, Karen, let's do 5 years. So that was 2000, and then my son Gavin was born in 2004. And okay, so let's stay on, you know. And then my other son Griffin was born in 2007, and then they wouldn't let us leave. Not at that point that I really wanted to leave, but they kept talking about the big boys, you know. Imagine having kids here. They get to go out in the hall and they have, you know, 18 big brothers on one floor, 18 big brothers on the other floor. And so we stayed, and then Gavin was in 5th grade at Deerfield Elementary School, and we said, well, we gotta stay, because he's going to Eaglebrook next year. And that's what happened, and then 2 years later, Griffin followed. And then after that, we were, so like everybody, parents do weird things when it becomes a secondary school admission time. I mean, you know, everybody freaks out. And I said to myself, I'm not going to freak out. We'll be fine. I was freaking out, but we made a lot of nice contacts at Deerfield Academy, and we were so supported by the Eaglebrook people here. My older son has some chops for acting, so we sort of got in on that. And Griffin followed them. They're both working the Deerfield Academy reunion right now. I'll see them in about an hour, and I'm going to embarrass both of them. One of them's clearing plates and taking out trash, and the other one's working in the daycare aspect. But and then my parents are in their 80s, and I have to drive by their house every day, so that's a nice sort of check-in with them. I just feel like the stars align. You know, there's reason after reason, you know, for me to stay. And then I love working with kids. You know, I know many of you will disagree, but I myself am very much a 14-and-a-half-year-old. Where else can you teach comic book art? I mean, everybody should learn how to draw the Wolverine, you know, right? Or Batman, or the Hulk, and that's what I do, and teach the 3 sections of English, 4th, 5th, and 6th form. Just yesterday, I got an email from Meredith Crowder, whose son was here for a year. Her son had run into an issue at Westminster, and he needed another school fast. He ended up in my English class. We really bonded, and she sent the email. She worked at Kingswood, Oxford for many years, so you could tell she was in the educational world. Everything was really beautifully worded. It was such a nice email about what she said I did for her sons. I said I went back to Eaglebrook. I printed off 700 copies. I fired up, I made you pay for it. I fired up the laminator, and then I proceeded to wallpaper the house with it. And I still have the downstairs bathroom to do in the barn, but I'll get there. And that's the reason, really, why I keep coming back is I get to be a 14-and-a-half-year-old, and I love it.